Herzlich willkommen zu unserer 26. Podcast-Ausgabe von Chat with Funky Space. Ja, ich heiße Sie recht herzlich willkommen zu dieser neuen Ausgabe und wie immer sitzt meine liebe Kollegin Toni neben mir und mietet sich ein, konzentriert sich und bereits jetzt bekomme ich diese warmen Wellen sie sitzt zu meiner rechten Seite, wirklich wie in Wellen herüber. Das ist ein Wunder. Ich wünsche es im Grunde genommen jedem Menschen, dass man das mal spüren kann, dass man das mal erleben darf. Ja, zu unserer Thematik von heute. Ich würde so gern diese ganze aktuelle Polarisierung, die im Augenblick in der Weltgeschichte vonstatten geht, durch Milady auch beleuchten, ansprechen und ich sage ein bisschen ans Licht bringen, dass wir transparenter verstehen, auch tiefer verstehen, was im Augenblick vonstatten geht. Es ist für uns Menschen im Moment unglaublich und gleichzeitig ist es wahr und es ist Tatsache, was abgeht. Und trotzdem ist die Frage, was passiert alles hinten dran? Ja.
Hello, Space Radio, hello.
Herzlich willkommen.
Hello and hello also to Milady and hello also to all those people which wants to know, what is going on right now on Earth, on your Earth. And we always have also to speak about how many planets you have. You are speaking about planet Earth. And you are speaking about those population which you have on your Earth, and you are speaking about human beings that you have in different countries. You are speaking about animals. You are speaking about you focus completely different in your world, in things which is always that you have to focus on something and speak about it. And in frequency, and I want to say it like that, it's everything in one, so we don't have to speak about something because we understand what is going on, and this is the big difference. And I know that your question, I understand your question, what you want to know for your world and the upcoming months, the upcoming season, the upcoming events that you have down there. And I want to start with something very, very beautiful. So it is the era, the upcoming era. It is that you need to understand that it's like you have a big, big tree. And this tree is so old. And it comes the one day that you have to say, well, goodbye to that tree. Because it is old, but it starts to have an illness. The tree has an illness, and you have to say, okay, it's damaging and the earth and everything, and you have just to cut that tree, and you have just to take everything out. You really have to say goodbye to everything, and then it's the idea that you put a new seed, that you can have a new tree with new energy, and this is what's going on Earth right now. So to understand, how you are seeing your world, it's like, or we are seeing your world. It's an illness. I need to say it's like an illness that you have right now going around the world. And this illness is like to be healed. And that illness can be healed, you have really to go over and through that illness. You just can't put it away. It's not just taking a medicine and then it's away. It is an illness which you have really to undergo in a different state, and also in a different state of mind. And we talked also about all the influences that you have in the world coming from nature. And nature is helping very much that you understand as human being the forces of nature and the forces of what's happening completely different. And this is also to heal the world. It's to heal also the people. And right now, what is happening, it's not that you have always to say something to the government, because the government is not healing, the situation. The government is there and has also the same influence like other people. So the healing comes from every human being. The healing is that you have to understand what is going on and what you can do personally. You don't have to put hands and fingers on governments. You don't have to put fingers and, to say, well, this is the world, what we have. But did you ask yourself how much did your influence to make it sick?
Yeah.
So this is, that you understand it completely different. And right now, this sickness is really going around the world. And this sickness is something that every human being has really to implement their own forces to heal it.
Yeah.
And it's in few words, and I know it will get a long episode today. We'll get a long episode, but I need to understand that you understand that it is every human being needs to focus on their own forces.
Ja, das ist ein sehr, sehr interessanter Hinweis, den Sie da geben. Zum einen wirklich dieser Blick zu sich zurück. Also ich habe eingangs gesagt, das Polarisieren. Also im Moment passiert so viel wie Diametrales auf dieser Welt. Ganz starke wie Ausschläge und dann gibt es Polar, also wie im Gegenklang oder im Echo, können wir vielleicht auch sagen, eine Reaktion. So. Und dass im Grunde genommen die Heilung, also es ganz zu machen, in uns als einzelne Person liegt. Als Samen in uns schlummert.
Exactly.
Und wir müssen diesen Weg durchgehen. Es ist der Heilungsprozess, spricht man, also medizinisch sagt man, bis ich von mir aus 7 oder 10 Tage lang das Antibiotika genommen habe. Es geht mir noch nicht sehr viel besser, es geht mir stückweise täglich besser, aber ich muss diesen Prozess durchlaufen, auch medizinisch betrachtet.
Yes.
Und Prozesse brauchen immer Zeit.
Yes, and you need to understand that planet Earth is an old Earth. Let me explain it like that. It's an old Earth with very, very much history, with very much damage as well, and with very much right now going into their forces of healing. And that's why also upcoming seasons are healing season for the world and for the earth itself. So if you want to plant something, you really have to look at, the earth is healed and cleaned up. You don't put a seed where you had, for example, I would call it like damaged earth or radiation on earth, because you know that there you can put as many seeds as you want, but there is nothing growing up. And so the same thing is right now going and is on earth. And to understand that, what I mean also with the seeds and with the tree, is also to understand that human beings, and with your knowledge, and it's clear for every human being hearing that, you damaged the world in a very short time, very much and very deep. And now also to focus on what's happening, it will come also in a deep and very strong way out. And this getting strong out of something makes the world, or gets earthquakes. You had this year, the water problem, which we already told once, that water will be, focusing on 2024, the water. It's the problem of 2024, and you have very much problems in your world, on many countries. And for 2025, and we talked also about that. It's that volcanic ashes will be a very, very damaging way as well. It's not only you look at a volcano that the eruption is something beautiful in light, but it's a big damage also. It's nothing, that you can say, how wonderful is that?
Yeah.
And volcanic and sunburn. The sun burns very much down in 2025. And it's not only on and in countries where you have been always focused on. You need to, you are just looking always on the same countries. But now other countries are becoming as well very dangerous. And with fire, it's also, the fire and the earthquakes, which are really coming up. And the movement, movement, because fire is inside the earth. The very, very deepest point is fire inside. It is very much, and that comes to it. It's like you have big elements that show a completely new way also to geography in your world. And you need to understand it also as a cleaning up from the deepest inside, and we talked also about that once. So focus in what you wanted to know, because I know that your question was much more politically, but the thing is that politically, and that's why I'm telling that, politics as you have done it until now in your world will be just a little bit put beside next year, because other things are showing up, and you need to make politics in, the problem which the earth is given to many countries, so that you really have to focus. And that's also that's why I'm saying and telling that governments everywhere in the world, if you have these little small problems of really little small things, and you really think that it goes on like that, 2025 will show you that you have to put such little things very much beside. It is really that you have to focus on what is going on with planet Earth. It's very, very, you don't have, it's like you don't have a natural discussion in parliaments. This is something which is very clear for 2025, so that you understand that focusing on if you want to build that street, and if you have to give money to that, and if you have to build up a new school, or these are things, or you really have to put this beside. It's not time for such discussion. And you need to understand that even if you are a country and you want to discuss something in a democratic way, or in a way that, you get to a solution that everybody's happy, it's like... I need to say it like that. It's like you can't make everybody happy, because planet Earth will just tell you other things. And in all that things, it's not the government. That's what I want to say as well. It is every human being which is also part of it to make it better. So nobody can just put the fingers on a parliament. And this is very something that you need to understand, because globally the earth will just show you different problems. And it's not to blame somebody, because earth is not a parliament.
Ja, sehr schön, dass Sie das auch noch zum Ausdruck bringen. Es ist ja wie eine Resonanz. Es ist eine viel größere Kraft, in sich eine intrinsische, ewige, für uns zumindest erscheint sie als ewige Kraft, diese Naturkraft. Und wie Sie schon sagten, also das ganze Jahr bisher, 2024, war sehr unter diesen heftigsten Regenfällen, Überschwemmungen und noch immer, sehr beeinträchtigt. An auch Küstengebieten, aber auch mittendrin in den Kontinenten, dass die ganzen Wasserfluten entweder von den Bergen runterkamen, dass so viel Eisschmelze war, und dann über die Flüsse und Seen sich ausgebreitet haben. Wir haben verschiedenste Wasserprobleme als solches. Und wenn ich Sie so höre, ist das nur wie eine Initiative von der Naturgewalt Wasser, also von dem Element Wasser, aber das Ganze interagiert ja und jetzt auch diese ganzen Meldungen, die wir ja doch sehr frequent haben von den Erdbeben, von den Vulkanausbrüchen im Augenblick, dieser eine große, sehr aktive Vulkan in Indonesien.
That's still nothing, you know, because you need really to understand that the activity it's forced to come from the inside, and you need to understand that right now on Earth, so many countries have different problems. So many countries, they don't have food, or they have, sick people. They have, the circumstances for many people. You have war in your world, in some territories. People have to flee, and now planet Earth is giving you the chance to see things like that different, because it will start to be in countries where you never had this kind of problems in that way, that you understand. And this is something that you have to look at it completely different, because there will be like the sentence of human beings saying, we never saw something like that. We never had to go through this. We never had this in the past. And now it shows how much planet Earth just give you also to show you in which danger and situations other people are. Because some countries in your world are speaking in a such in a way of and defame other countries and people, not to help or just to let them show that they help, but at the end they have so many problems. And this is also to let you know what that means when people have to flee, when people have no food, and when people are losing things. And this is something like, if you don't feel it on your own in your own life, you can't understand it. And this is something to show to human beings that it can happen everywhere. And this is like, something to make you understandable in what you are in. And to resolve those problems, you need to understand it in a different way. And this means also that many organization and many governments need to speak out, and it's not about money. It's to transform the way of living, and it's not about the money, because in your world, and that's why I'm telling that, it is that you feel always to make something, to build something, and it always is with the focus on that you have to earn something. It's always the focus on earn something, but you never go a step back and say we build it and we just do it because it's our people and we want that we have still human beings on Earth. It's always you are ignoring the human being, but you're not ignoring the money. And now planet Earth gives you really the chance to go through those times that you understand what that means.
Ja, es ist der Lehrmeister des Erlebnisses. Also nur dann habe ich überhaupt einen Sachverstand oder auch ein Empfinden, ein wirklich auch körperliches Empfinden, ein Wissen, eine Weisheit, würden wir sagen, wenn wir es denn kultivieren in uns und auch aktivieren, dass wir uns darauf besinnen. Aber wir müssen durch diese Prozesse durch und die Erde, so verstehe ich sie hier, sie schenkt uns diese Möglichkeit.
It is the process of life. And process of life, it's like what I said, before you just put a new seed, that a new tree can come up, it must be so clean. And this is also clean your conscious. And when you are conscious, you make everything to make every human being happy. You make everything that you can resolve the problem, because many problems are made by the same problem, by the same persons, and these persons don't see it as a problem. They see it as something they need to do to ignore the problem, but they build the problems.
Ja.
And so
und dessen
it is,
sind sie sich nicht bewusst.
exactly.
Ja. Oder sind wir uns nicht bewusst?
So you can't build many streets and think that at the end all the accidents, all the deaths and all the bad air and the influences and all the criminality which is coming with the street. It is also, if you want something, you need to understand, and that's the way that, frequency, and when we really talk, when we do, the speaking with you, that you understand that when you say a word for something, you need to, it's like you give the first word for a sentence, but you need to know when you have to set the point. And right now it's like you don't set a point, you're going over and over and over, and you make a long sentence, and this sentence has never an end. And now planet Earth put the point on it, so that you understand now that's the end.
Ja, wie Sie eingangs auch sagten, dieses Sinnbild des Baumes als Bild, als Sinnbild wirklich für die Erde. Sie sprachen auch davon, dass die Erde ein sehr alter Planet ist, uralt.
Yes, and we will talk also in the next episode about other planets, and it's also very interesting because you need to understand that in the gravity of where your Earth planet is in, it will be also that changement. And we talk already when we started the podcast that, the world is built also in gravity. The world is set into a gravity frequency. And when that gets higher, the whole planet is just, I don't want to say exploding. It's not something explosive, but it is something putting in movement. And with this gravity, which we already always said, it gives a new order. And what we want to say as well is that you don't have to think as human beings that you are the owner of the planet, because now, other things are just going on and setting on different problems also on Earth and also in the universe. And with all this, let me say, I don't want to speak that much because I want to put it really in the next episode. You need to understand that doing and going through that, also new waves and gravity changement gives you a different, let me say, looking to the universe.
Klingt sehr, sehr spannend.
It is like, going and entering a new era as well. And this is very important that you understand also what you are going through right now on your planet Earth and what that means also in the future. And we always said that by the end of this century, you will have less human beings. Yeah. We always say that. So, don't ignore also planet Earth when you don't have the same amount of children as you had many years ago. It is like, everything is getting into a normal thing. So medicine doesn't have to look for this and that. If you can't, you are so focused on so small things. You are focused also, if we have this illness in your world, we have just to produce something that we don't get this illness anymore. And now new problems are showing up, and you think as in medicine that you can resolve every problem, but it is something that you start from the beginning. And this is something that you need to know. And we talked also about energy, and energy, it's also the in 2025. Yeah. Energy and fire, it's the same thing. Yeah. And energy, it's also the many blackouts that you will get. So it is also in that, how much medicine you will put in something if you don't have a power. And also all the equipments, and that's why we are saying that. Put much more, and you think that, you are so well organized on your Earth. But that energy that you have in and on your Earth, it's not the energy which will, let me say, you can't force that energy to help you go over that time.
Yeah.
And it's important that you understand that as well. Now, going back in history, and you see, you know, that human beings had the sun as her power. They really, it was like praying to the sun that they gave so much power that you can put seeds and you have food. And what you're doing right now is just thinking that electricity is always there, give you always the information and food, and gives you the medicine and produce this and that. And you can't produce more, because how much more you want to produce if you don't have electricity? So you have to step back in everything, and this is also something which is really the earth intends that as a learning lesson for human beings next year.
Wow. Yeah.
And you need to understand that, because you know it's never enough in your earth. It's never enough on your planet. It's never enough for something. You want always more. And now, you know...
Die menschliche Spezies strebt danach, ganz klar. Also diese Gier, die entsteht. Und fast ein Wahn, möchte ich sagen, der sich wie intrinsisch entwickelt in diesem menschlichen Verhalten, wenn wir in dieser Begrenzung, in diesem begrenzten Blick auch vorwärts gehen. Wir denken nicht mehr an uns, sondern wir denken ja nur noch an mich selbst. Und da ist einfach der Gewinn, da ist der Stärkere, der Schnellere. So. Und das ist veraltet,
Yes,
das kann ich sehr gut hören.
That's why we want also today. I want to speak in a different session on registration. What's on other planets and what's on in the universe, because we focused very much in all those episodes right now, planet Earth and gravity, and now I want just to focus and give you also like the information on what's more, because you can't see and feel the what's more in your world. The what's more is just looking at the stars and knowing the black hole. But what does black hole mean for human beings? You don't understand the black hole.
Bis heute nicht.
No,
nein, auch
not at all.
Die weisesten Wissenschaftler, nein, keiner bisher.
And that's something we want to go into it also, so that you understand what means black hole also for you, human beings in your world, the forces and frequency of that black hole. You can't, you intend to put measures into it. You intend to understand it. You feel that there is something, but you can't handle, the knowledge and the information. And when you know the information, you understand also what's going on Earth now. And also what is going on right now, what's going on next year, and also the other years and the following years. And right now on your Earth, you're looking too much also on politics, and you are really settle your knowledge into what you have on black and white, and it transform now, and that's what I want to say. You're so focused, hardly to understand. In politics what's going on, and now Earth comes and just throw everything away, that you can't understand politics as what it is right now on Earth. So that's why I told and said as well, you don't have to blame the parliament for something, because it comes really out from a different way, that it's not expected also for many people and places as well. Yes.
Also ist das nur ein kleiner Schauplatz, der im Moment politisch sich abspielt, wobei wir ihn als doch sehr groß im Moment anschauen. Wir als menschliche Spezies.
For human beings, it's everything big which you think in a big country has to be big. And looking to Earth, for us, it's like I need to explain it like it's not even to see, and it's nothing. For us it's nothing, because the bigger things are coming up, which for you on Earth are enormous.
Oh yeah.
So that you understand also the measures on what you have on Earth and what you think that you are. And what people also think what they are. So speaking out things that you can't hold would say it like that, in your world, governments are making decisions which they think, with their knowledge and what has been until now on Earth, it's something they blame people, and they are also like closing the eyes and make other people blind. They have to think and believe everything. Now planet Earth gives you just such a new way that it makes yourself opening the eyes about what is going on.
Sehr spannend.
Yes, it will be. It will be the definition of transforming. It's the definition of changing, and it's the definition of going into this new era. And in all that, and I need to say it and speak it out like that as well, it is also what you have on criminal acts in your world, which are very, very much also done with fire. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, but it is also that you understand how much it is in that level of frequency. You need to understand it, because we always said when we talk, we just it's like taking out the book of mathematics and telling you what's going on. And we could speak hours and hours and hours, but you don't understand. And now we just have to put it in sessions that you can understand what we're talking about. And the old knowledge of the Earth is that it was one in one. It was that those human beings knew about what is going on in the universe and in and on the Earth and in the Earth itself.
Yeah.
And right now, you human beings understand only what you want to see and what you want to reach, and you have put this knowledge beside. And now this knowledge is just coming and showing up, and you are so like, oh, why does this happen? And you are so like putting a big question mark on something which was always there.
Ja, wir sind in dem Moment mehr die Marionetten.
You're speechless in something which you think that can be happen, because it can't be, because we just built that road. That can't be that nature is just putting that road apart. But now nature is not asking you,
Eben, wir sind mehr die Marionetten, also die ausführenden Organe, die hier herumhampeln und ein bisschen mit den Armen und Beinen wackeln, oder? So von der Qualität her auch eben aktuell, was politisch auch geschieht. Also wenn ich sie höre, wenn ich ihre Weisheit dort versuche in meine Sprache, in meine bescheidene Sprache zu übersetzen, dann höre ich, was das für Kräfte sind, von denen wir immer wieder nicht wissen, keine Kenntnis haben, auch nicht wissen wollen. Also unsere in uns zugrunde liegende Weisheit, dieser Samenkeim oder auch Kern, dieses Sämchen, was Sie eingangs beschrieben haben, wann setze ich das wieder um, den Baum wieder erwachsen zu lassen in mir, den Baum der Weisheit.
Yes,
also in der Geschichte kennen wir das, in der Kulturgeschichte kennen wir immer wieder solche Bilder, in der nordischen Kulturgeschichte, die Edda, unter diesem Baum, diese 3 Frauen, die da die Weisheit in diesen Strömungen, die Weisheitsströme aus Vergangenheit, Zukunft und Gegenwart bildeten oder versinnbildlichten. Da meine ich so ein bisschen von Ihnen zu hören, Sie bringen nur das Aktuelle, heute, für uns Verständliche, was wir begreifen können.
Yes. And the thing is that as human being, you have really forgot, this knowledge, it's not a seed into you, even if you want to have it. It's not a seed into the human beings. It's not a seed. When we talk about frequency, you don't know what it is. You don't know what is consciousness. You can't understand this seed. A seed needs the tree, and the tree needs the seed. And now I want to say the world, the planet Earth, needs the seed, needs the universe, but it doesn't need the human beings. And with that, I need to say, don't focus yourself everywhere where you are as a human being, that you are important for planet Earth. It's bad to say, but it's also a very, let me say, the solution of planet Earth to say, we don't need you, so don't make yourself bigger than you are. Not that big, and you are nothing on your earth. And it's not to confront human beings and to blame human beings, but it's just to say that don't put yourself, because right now you're putting yourself in an extremely danger as human beings, and also with the upcoming and the wars that you have, and we talked about that, just stop it. Because also on what is coming and showing up. And you need to understand that this frequency, what you have right now on Earth, it's also how and that's why we talk later on about a new episode of what is going on in the universe. And that's interesting. And we start not counting as human beings. And that's something new for you as human beings. And you got visits, let me say it like that, and we'll tell later on, you got visits.
Das muss ja mit dieser Frequenz, der Frequenzveränderung zu tun haben. Ich benenne es gerne auch als Schwingungserhöhung. Also, dass die Welle schneller schwingt, damit wir uns das vorstellen können. Wir haben wie keine Vorstellung davon, kein Bild. Wie fühlt sich das an? Wie können wir das erkennen? Wie können wir es sehen, hören, schmecken?
And we spoke already once, in a session, in a registration, that looking west, you need to understand what is going on with metal, how metal can melt. And that's the same thing as I told in energy and in fire, what is coming to happen as well,
Jetzt reden Sie etwas kryptisch. Können Sie nochmal das ein bisschen konkretisieren, bitte?
Yes, we talked in a registration, that you need to look west on Western countries, on West, what this high frequency makes also with metal, with this element of metal, and metal can melt, in high in high frequency of what is fire and what is energy, energy of fire. And this is something which will really much consider to this completely different frequency, that you understand also the universe better, what's going out there. Yes, you're entering as a world in a different, let me say, episode of a world's history.
Eben, es schwingt hinein in den Weltraum.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. And yes, you get visits, and I want to speak in a different registration about it, and in the next registration, that you understand, what's focused right now on planet Earth, because planet Earth itself has a story, and it's not a story about the human beings. It is the story about the world itself. It's about the planet itself, and the planet itself has its story. So don't put too much, don't look too much on human beings. Because other planets have their own story as well, and you don't understand that as human beings, as a story, as a compilation of something.
Also ist dort wiederum die Verbindung, das Bewusstsein.
Yes, because
also dort können wir uns connecten, sage ich.
Yes,
in diese Geschichte der Erde.
Because you need to understand that planet Earth, it's a construct of many Earths, and every Earth has a different information tool in frequency.
Sind dann die Elementarkräfte wie Feuer und Wasser, sind diese Elemente, kommen die aus den verschiedenen Planeten? Ist das wie das Überbleibsel, das zurückgebliebene Manifeste, festgewordene?
It has a different, it's like having a different story. You need to understand that you have different stories in your world. You understand your world. For example, you have in a story, you have what you call a man, what you call a woman, what you call children and animals. In a different story, you have just a storyteller which is just telling a story about flowers, and in another story you have animals and flora and fauna, and you need to understand planet Earth and also the planets in the universe as different storytelling. So every planet has its own story. Every planet has its own. Let me say, it's like a book of something.
Das ist die Historie.
Yes, and planet Earth has a different one. But now in your Earth, you're just looking it on a completely different way, because you're looking it more on the physical way. You are like looking what is the physical way of that planet, what can give me that planet, does it have water on that planet, does it have this, but you don't have the whole thing in information, in frequency. You don't have that. You don't understand as a human being that this really puts the universe and the planets together. And this is something you need to understand, and can understand it only in a high frequency.
Ist die Menschheitsgeschichte denn auf dem Weg dorthin?
Yes.
Das ist, bin ich dankbar, habe ich diese Frage auch hier so stellen durfte ich sie stellen.
And that's also why some illnesses are not found anymore by medicine. It's something which is not a problem of medicine power.
Nein. Sondern es kann nicht diagnostiziert, also nicht gemessen, bemessen, ermessen werden. Das
But
kann
it's
ich verstehen.
That
und
you don't understand in your world.
Aber das startet, also diese Zeit, was Sie hier beschreiben, dass wir es nicht mehr diagnostizieren können, dass wir es nicht mehr definieren können.
And you don't have the tools. You don't even have the tools anymore. You know, if you don't have electricity, you can't explore what is going on in a different human body, because you can't explore it without your knowledge in your technical things. And technical things are not reliable anymore on what you need to know, because they don't give you an answer anymore. And you need to understand the whole thing. So, you're putting right now on your Earth so much money, so much, what you say, knowledge. You want to make everything bigger, and now you get smaller in everything. And this is something that you need to understand why it is like that.
Und was ist dann nochmal zurückzuführen auf die eingangs gestellte Frage, auch politisch heute, was ist dieser Effekt? Das ist ja wie so ein Witz, fast erscheint es mir in diesem Licht betrachtet, aus diesem Fokus.
Yes, it is. If I can give you a picture of what is going on in your world, because we like to speak in pictures that you can understand it.
So
it is like, a cat and mouse playing game, what is going on your Earth. And it's right now like, a big cat wants just to take all mouses in the whole world, wants just really to run, and just take the mouses and eat the mouses and just telling them, I'm the big cat. And it is,
so wunderbar,
yes,
dem Bild.
and it's like, to understand, that also the big cat, if you eat the wrong mouse, you're dead. And it is that you understand that, that game on your earth. And also, if a mouse had eaten poison before, the cat is just gone away. And you need to understand this whole thing that you have on earth in frequency. And I know that I can't tell you the frequency because you don't understand the frequency, but in power it's what I told you. And now this big cat is really it's like, the big cat is just like having it's not a having, it's like thinking to have, instead of looking like a cat, it's looking like something big, a tiger. And everybody around, every mouse is looking at the cat and doesn't see the tiger, it sees the cat. And now the mouse are really just like saying, okay, it is a cat, but I can do something that I will not be hurt about that cat. And the mouses are very, very, let me say, they have a good thinking and they have a good noise. And they are not just eating cheese, and going around and just looking for cheese. They are looking for something better. And this something better is something that, this big cat doesn't see because it thinks that it is a big tiger. And, the mouse is much more intelligent as the cat and the tiger. And it goes into the hole where, it just showed to the cat, I make the entrance a little bit different. And because this cat think, that he's a tiger, he's big, he just really get in and he trashes into the wall. And, you need to understand that hole was very small for the mouse because the mouse is intelligent. But the cat, and the tiger just doesn't get into that hole. And it is such a classic picture that you need to understand that, you clash and this tiger clashes into the wall.
Yes,
and this is something that you need to understand. And also the eating of something that the mouse can say, well, I really make that sick. What will happen? What will happen because the mouse is much more intelligent and it's much faster as well. And now planet Earth have also many mouses. You need to understand it like that. And these many mouses have a different energy because they want to survive that period. And they are tricky. You need to understand it like that.
Ja, was ein wunderbares Bild. Es zeigt so viel und bedarf keiner weiteren Worte.
Yes. And and with that I want to say also goodbye to you, and I know that you are like looking forward also for the next registration, that you can understand what is going on in the universe, because it's the next step, what it's really also to know also for human beings and to know also for science, what you call science. And you need to understand that your science is not that science that you want to, or that you mean to know, and what you mean to understand.
Ich denke vor allem diese Wissenschaft, die wird sich sehr verändern.
It is not something that it's
es wird nicht mehr zu gebrauchen sein, wenn ich sie richtig verstehe.
Yes. You need to see the world in such a transformation and the planet in such a transformation that what you think that is not.
Ja, die Werte, die wir uns erschaffen haben, oder die Bewertungen, die sind nicht mehr zu gebrauchen. Die sind quasi zu verwerfen.
Yes. So thank you very, very much, and hold on the intelligence of the intelligence of the mouses, and go on. I need to say it like that. Go on, and you will see that it transforms very much. But it has also a good happening. Also, you need to understand that life will be transformed about what is going on also on earth. Yeah.
Ich danke Ihnen für Ihre wiederum so weisen Worte, die Sie uns schenken.
Thank you so much and goodbye. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Bye bye.